Captain Gene Park walked slowly through the green fields of New Haven Colony. The warm sun felt good on his face as he watched children playing in the tall grass. These were not ordinary children. Some had blue skin. Others had 4 arms. A few had wings that sparkled in the sunlight. But they all laughed and played together like any group of kids. Gene smiled as he saw little Hannah, a human girl with black hair, teaching a small alien boy how to make flower chains. The boy's skin was purple and he had 3 eyes, but Hannah treated him just like her brother. Because he was her brother now. The Kim family had adopted him last year after his home planet was destroyed in a war. New Haven was special. It was the only place in the galaxy where children of different species lived together as one big family. When wars happened and children lost their parents, they came here. Human families took them in. They did not care what the children looked like or where they came from. Love was love. Gene had built this colony 5 years ago after seeing too many orphan children with nowhere to go. He remembered the first child they saved. Her name was Un, a small girl with green skin and silver hair. Her people had been wiped out by disease. She was the last one left. The Lee family took her in, and now she was their daughter in every way that mattered. As Gene walked past the school, he could hear different languages being spoken. Teacher Park was helping the children learn to read. Some children spoke in clicks and whistles. Others used hand signals. But they all understood each other through kindness and patience. The colony had grown from just 50 people to over 10,000. Word had spread across the galaxy about this strange human settlement that welcomed everyone. Other species had tried similar things, but only the humans seemed to make it work. Maybe it was because humans had always been good at adapting. Maybe it was because they understood what it meant to be different. Jin's radio crackled to life. "Captain, we have incoming ships," said Lieutenant Yu Kim from the control tower. "They are flying Keth flags." Gene frowned. The Keth Empire was known for being very strict about keeping species separate. They believed that mixing different species was wrong and dangerous. Gene had heard stories about them forcing mixed communities apart. "How many ships?" Gene asked. 12 warships, sir. They are requesting permission to land." Gene looked around at the children playing. Some were human, some were not. But they were all his responsibility. "Tell them they can send 1 representative. That is all." An hour later, Gene stood in the colony's main hall. Across from him was Admiral Kong of the Keth Empire. The alien was tall and gray with sharp teeth and cold yellow eyes. Behind Gene stood parents from the colony, both human and alien. They all looked worried. "Captain Park," Admiral Kong said in a rough voice. "The Keth Empire demands you surrender all non-human children immediately. They must be returned to proper facilities where they can be taught correct behavior for their species." Gene felt anger rising in his chest. These children are not prisoners. They are part of families here. They are loved and cared for. "You humans do not understand," Admiral Kong replied. "Mixing species creates weakness. These children will grow up confused and broken. We offer them proper guidance." "Proper guidance?" Jin's voice got louder. "You want to tear children away from the only families they have ever known?" Behind him, Gene heard Mrs. Song start to cry. She was holding her adopted son, a small boy with blue fur and big ears. The boy had been with the Song family for 3 years. He called them Mama and Papa. "The children belong with their own kind," Admiral Kong said firmly. "You have 24 hours to prepare them for transfer. If you refuse, we will take them by force." The room went completely quiet. Even the children playing outside seemed to sense something was wrong and stopped their games. Gene stepped forward. His voice was calm, but everyone could hear the steel in it. "Admiral Kong, these children are under our protection. They are safe here. They are loved here. They have families here. They are not going anywhere." "Then you choose war over wisdom," Admiral Kong said with a cruel smile. "Your small colony cannot stand against the Keth Empire. We have 12 warships. You have farmers and children. We have something more important than warships," Gene said quietly. "We have love. And we have each other. And when someone threatens our children, they threaten everything we are." Admiral Kong laughed. "Emotion makes you weak, human. You will surrender tomorrow or face the consequences." After the Keth representative left, Gene called an emergency meeting. Parents filled the community center, their faces full of fear and anger. Some held their adopted children close. "We knew this day might come," Gene told them. "Other colonies have been forced to give up their mixed families. But we are different. These children are not guests here. They are our sons and daughters." Mr. Bo raised his hand. "What can we do? We are just farmers and teachers. We have no weapons." Gene looked around the room at faces he had known for years. These people had opened their hearts and homes to children who had nowhere else to go. They had created something beautiful and rare in a galaxy full of hatred and war. We do what humans have always done when someone threatens our family, Jean said. We call for help. And we make sure everyone knows what is at stake. He turned to you, Kim. Send a message to every human world, every human ship, every human colony. Tell them New Haven needs help. Tell them someone wants to take our children. As the message went out across space, Jean looked through the window at the children playing in the moonlight. They had no idea their whole world was about to change. But he would make sure they stayed safe. Whatever it cost. Admiral Doak stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking down at the small human colony below. His gray skin was covered in battle scars, and his yellow eyes showed no emotion. He had fought in dozens of wars and conquered many worlds. This tiny farming planet would be easy. Pathetic, he said to his officers. Look at them. No weapons. No shields. Just dirt farmers playing with alien pets. His second officer, Commander Nal, pointed at the scanner readings. Sir, they have about 10,000 humans and maybe 3,000 non-human children. The children are scattered throughout their settlement living with human families. Good, Admiral Doak nodded. It will be simple to separate them. Humans are weak. They care too much about feelings. When we show them real power, they will give us what we want. The Admiral had heard stories about human colonies before. They were always described as soft and emotional. Unlike the strong Keth Empire, humans let their hearts rule their minds. This made them weak in battle and easy to control. Sir, incoming message from the colony, reported the communications officer. Captain Gene Park's face appeared on the screen. His dark eyes were calm, but Admiral Doak could see anger underneath. Admiral, I am told you want our children. My answer is no. These children have families here. They are safe and loved. Find somewhere else to play your war games. Admiral Doak laughed loudly. His officers joined in. Captain Park, you do not understand your situation. I have 12 warships. You have farms and schools. I am being generous by asking nicely. Give us the non-human children now, or I will take them. You are welcome to try, Jean said quietly. But know this, you are not just threatening children. You are threatening our families. That changes everything. The transmission ended. Admiral Doak was still smiling. Humans, he said to his officers. Always making big speeches. Always pretending to be brave. Watch how quickly they change their minds. He turned to his weapons officer. Target their farming areas. Not the houses with children, just their food storage and equipment. A small demonstration should make them reasonable. Yes, sir. Firing now. Green energy beams shot down from the Keth ships. They hit the grain silos first, sending up huge clouds of smoke and flame. Then they destroyed the farming machines that helped feed the colony. Finally, they targeted a large garden area filled with flowers and small trees. What Admiral Doak did not know was that the garden was special. It was called the Memory Garden. Each child who came to New Haven planted something there to remember their lost parents. Little flowers from destroyed worlds. Trees from home planets that no longer existed. Stones with names written in alien languages. The energy beams turned it all to ash. Down on the planet, Gene Park stood in the smoking ruins of the Memory Garden. Around him, children were crying. Not just the alien children but human children too. They all understood what this place meant. 7-year-old Min was holding a burned flower that used to belong to his adopted sister. The girl named Do was touching a melted stone that had her birth mother's name on it. Captain, Lieutenant Yu Kim said softly. The Keth Admiral is calling again. Jin's hands were shaking with anger, but his voice was steady. Put him on all frequencies. Every ship in the system needs to hear this. Admiral Doak's proud face appeared on screens throughout the colony and on every nearby spacecraft. Captain Park, I hope you understand my message. That was just a small taste of what happens when you refuse the Keth Empire. Now bring us the non-human children. Gene Park looked directly into the camera. Behind him, the memory garden still burned. Children with tears on their faces stood next to their human parents. Alien and human families holding each other close. Admiral Doak, Gene said in a voice that was quiet but somehow reached across space. You just made the worst mistake in your species' history. You did not just attack our farms. You did not just threaten our children. You destroyed their memorial to their dead parents. You burned the place where they remember their lost families. The Admiral was still smiling. More human emotion. More. No, Gene interrupted. You need to understand something about humans, Admiral. We are peaceful people. We grow food. We teach children. We help others. But there is one thing we will never allow. Never. You do not threaten our families. You do not hurt our children. And you never ever attack the memory of their fallen parents. Jean stepped closer to the camera. I am broadcasting this message to every human ship, every human world, every human colony in the galaxy. New Haven is under attack. Someone has threatened our children and destroyed their memorial garden. We need help. He paused, looking directly at Admiral Doak. As for you, Admiral, you are about to learn why the galaxy learned to fear angry humans. You wanted to see human emotion? You wanted to see how we react when someone threatens what we love most? You are about to find out. Admiral Doak's smile faded. Captain, you are making threats you cannot keep. You have no fleet. No weapons. No. We have something better, Jean said. We have family. And when you threaten one human's family, you threaten all of our families. The transmission ended. Admiral Doak stared at the empty screen. Around him, his officers looked uncertain for the first time. Sir, the communications officer said nervously. We are picking up transmissions across human space. Ships are changing course. They are all heading toward our location. How many ships? Admiral Doak asked. The officer checked his readings twice before answering. All of them, sir. Captain Lee was drinking coffee on his merchant ship when the message came through. He was 3 days out from the Rim colonies, carrying medical supplies to outer settlements. The emergency broadcast made him stop mid-sip. New Haven under attack. Children threatened. Memorial garden destroyed. Lee's coffee cup fell to the floor and shattered. His hands were shaking as he reached for the ship controls. His own daughter had been born on New Haven after pirates killed his wife. The colony doctors saved both mother and child when no one else would help. That was 8 years ago. His daughter still sent letters to her New Haven friends. Computer, change course for New Haven. Maximum speed. Captain, that will delay the medical delivery by 6 days. The medicine can wait. The children cannot. Across the galaxy, the same scene played out on hundreds of ships. Commander Park was leading a patrol near the core worlds when her communications officer handed her the message. She read it twice before speaking. All ships, new orders. We are going to New Haven. Ma'am, our patrol mission is cancelled. Commander Park's voice was ice cold. Someone threatened children. Human children and their adopted alien siblings. Every ship in this patrol is going to New Haven right now. Her second officer looked confused. Ma'am, why would we abandon our mission for one small colony? Commander Park turned to face him. Because 3 years ago when the plague hit my home world, New Haven took in my nephew. His parents died. He was 6 years old and alone. The Song family adopted him. He calls them mom and dad now. He is happy and safe and loved. She looked around the bridge. New Haven has helped all of us in some way. They take in children who have no one. They give them families. They make them whole again. And now someone wants to tear those families apart. The patrol fleet changed course. On the mining world of Kepler Station, Captain Kim was overseeing the loading of or when his assistant ran up with a data pad. Kim read the message and immediately stopped all work. All mining ships report to Loading Bay 1. We are leaving in 1 hour. Sir, what about the mining contract? The company can wait. Load every ship with mining explosives. We are going to show some aliens what happens when you threaten human children. Even criminals heard the call. Su Yang was the most feared pirate captain in the Outer Rim. She had been planning to raid a luxury cruise ship when the New Haven message reached her fleet. Change of plans, she announced to her crew. We are going to New Haven. Captain, what about the cruise ship? Easy money. Su Yang's eyes went dark. The cruise ship has rich passengers. New Haven has children. When I was 12, my parents died in a transport crash. New Haven found me floating in an escape pod 3 days later. They fed me. They found me a new family. They saved my life. She stood up, her voice carrying across the ship. Any crew member who has a problem helping New Haven can leave now. But know this, those children are more important than all the treasure in the galaxy. Not one crew member left. The response was the same everywhere. Admiral Choi was running war games with the Third Fleet when the message arrived. Within an hour, all 30 ships were heading for New Haven. Captain Yang abandoned his scientific mission to study black holes. Commander Young left her diplomatic meeting with alien ambassadors. Even the retired veterans answered the call. Admiral Min had not flown a warship in 10 years, but he came out of retirement. My granddaughter lives on New Haven, he told his old crew. She was adopted by the Park family when her alien parents died. If someone wants to hurt her, they go through me first. Back at New Haven, Lieutenant Yu Kim was watching the scanner in amazement. "Captain Jean, you need to see this." Jean hurried to the control room. The scanner showed dozens of ships approaching. Then hundreds. Ship after ship was arriving at the edge of the system. Military vessels, merchant ships, mining haulers, even luxury yachts, Yu reported. "Sir, I have never seen anything like this. They are all flying human flags." Jean felt tears in his eyes. "How many?" "Still counting, sir. Over 400 ships so far. And more arriving every minute." On the Keth flagship, Admiral Doak stared at his own scanners in growing horror. His 12 warships looked tiny compared to the human fleet surrounding them. "This is impossible," he said to Commander Nal. "Humans do not work together like this. They are too independent. Too scattered across the galaxy." "Sir, we are receiving messages from the human ships. They all say the same thing." "What do they say?" Commander Nal looked pale. "They are asking for our surrender. All of them. Every ship." Admiral Doak laughed, but it sounded forced now. "Merchants and farmers. What can they do against trained warriors?" His tactical officer spoke up nervously. "Sir, I am reading military vessels in that fleet. Battle cruisers, destroyers. And some of those merchant ships have been armed with mining explosives." "How many military ships?" "At least 60, sir. But the mining ships might be just as dangerous. Mining explosives can crack asteroids." Admiral Doak felt fear creeping up his spine. This was not supposed to happen. Humans were supposed to be weak, divided, easy to control. "Sir," the communications officer called out. "The human fleet commander wants to speak with you." The screen showed a middle-aged woman in military uniform. Her name tag read Commander Park. "Admiral Doak," she said calmly. "My name is Commander Park of the Human Defense Force. I speak for all human vessels in this system. You have one chance to withdraw peacefully and face trial for crimes against civilians." "And if we refuse?" Admiral Doak asked. Commander Park's smile was cold as space. "Then you will discover why threatening our children was the last mistake your species will ever make." Admiral Doak stared at the massive human fleet surrounding his 12 ships. He had expected farmers and merchants. Instead, he saw battle cruisers, destroyers, and armed civilian vessels. The humans had turned their entire section of space into a weapon pointed directly at him. "Sir, the human commander is waiting for your answer," his communications officer said nervously. Admiral Doak straightened his uniform. He was a warrior of the Keth Empire. He would not be intimidated by emotional humans, no matter how many ships they had brought. "Tell them we refuse," he ordered. "The Keth Empire does not negotiate with primitives. Begin attack formation." But before his ships could move, something strange happened. Music began playing across all communication channels. Soft, gentle music. Then children's voices joined in. "My name is Un," said a small voice speaking in perfect human language. "I am 7 years old. My birth parents died when our planet got sick. The Lee family found me and made me their daughter. They teach me to read human books and alien books too. I love them very much." Another voice followed. "I am Tae. The war took my family when I was 4. I was scared and alone. But Captain Jean brought me to New Haven. The Kim family adopted me. Now I have a big sister who teaches me to paint. I paint pictures of my old family so I do not forget them." More voices joined in. Children from dozens of different species, all speaking about their human families. About love and safety and hope. About the memorial garden where they remembered their lost parents. "This is psychological warfare," Admiral Doak growled. "They are trying to make us weak with sentiment." But his own crew was listening. Commander Nal had grown quiet. Even the weapons officer seemed distracted by the children's voices. "Sir," the tactical officer reported. "The human ships are moving into attack position." Admiral Doak looked at his scanners. The human fleet was spreading out around them like a giant net. But they were not moving like a military force. Each ship seemed to be acting independently, yet somehow they all worked together perfectly. "Fire on the closest ship," Admiral Doak ordered. The Keth flagship's energy beams shot out toward a human destroyer. But the moment they fired, every human ship responded at once. Hundreds of weapons targeted the Keth fleet from every direction. What happened next shocked Admiral Doak completely. The humans did not try to destroy his ships. Instead, they aimed with perfect precision. Energy beams hit weapon systems but left life support intact. Explosions disabled engines but did not harm crew quarters. "They are not trying to kill us," Commander Nal said in surprise. "Of course they are," Admiral Doak snapped. No one fights a war without trying to kill the enemy. Sir, look at the damage reports. Every hit has been to weapons or engines only. They could have destroyed us completely by now. Admiral Doak studied the tactical display. His second officer was right. The humans were fighting with surgical precision, disabling rather than destroying. This was not how wars were supposed to work. Why are they not finishing us? He asked. The answer came from Commander Park's ship. Her voice cut through the children's songs. Admiral Doak, your weapons are disabled. Your engines are offline. You have two choices. Surrender now and face trial for threatening civilians, or we continue this demonstration. What demonstration? Admiral Doak demanded. Instead of answering, Commander Park gave orders to her fleet. All ships target Admiral Doak's personal quarters. Show him what precision looks like. Dozens of energy beams converged on a single small section of the Keth flagship. They burned through the outer hull and destroyed Admiral Doak's private cabin without touching anything else on the ship. His personal belongings, his war trophies, his bed, all turned to vapor in seconds. That was your room, Commander Park said calmly. If we wanted you dead, Admiral, you would be dead. We do not want to kill you. We want you to understand what happens when someone threatens our children. Admiral Doak felt something he had never felt before in battle. Fear. Pure cold fear. These humans could have killed his entire crew in the first minute of fighting. Instead, they had disabled his ships and made their point without taking a single life. The children are still singing, Commander NL whispered. Admiral Doak listened. The voices had never stopped. Story after story of love and family. Of human parents who adopted alien children and raised them as their own. Of New Haven as a place where everyone belonged. Sir, his weapons officer called out. All our weapons are destroyed. Engines are completely offline. We cannot fight or run. Around them, the human fleet held position. Hundreds of ships waited in perfect formation. Not attacking anymore but ready to defend. Admiral Doak, Commander Park's voice came again. Your fleet is defeated. Your threat to our children has failed. But we are still willing to show mercy. Order your crew to abandon ship. We will take you all prisoner and make sure you receive fair treatment. Why? Admiral Doak asked. Why show mercy to your enemies? The answer came not from Commander Park, but from Captain Jean on New Haven. Because that is what we teach our children, Admiral. Human children and alien children both. We teach them that violence should be the last choice, not the first. We teach them that even enemies deserve mercy. One by one, the Keth ships powered down their remaining systems and prepared for evacuation. Admiral Doak sat in his command chair, staring at the human fleet that had defeated him without hatred, without revenge, with nothing but the desire to protect their families. Sir, Commander NL said quietly. Orders. Admiral Doak looked at the tactical display one last time. 12 Keth ships surrounded by hundreds of human vessels. A battle that had lasted less than 30 minutes. A defeat so complete that his entire understanding of warfare had been shattered. Signal surrender, he said finally. And, apologize to the children. 6 months after the battle at New Haven, Captain Jean Park stood in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. Representatives from over 200 species filled the chamber, all there to sign the most important treaty in galactic history. Behind Jean, children played in the council gardens. Human children ran alongside their adopted alien siblings. A small blue girl with 4 arms was teaching human boys how to climb trees. Alien children with wings chased human children through flower beds. Their laughter echoed through the halls where once only serious political discussions had taken place. The Sanctuary Accords, Jean announced to the assembled crowd, establish one simple rule across all of space. Children are sacred. No matter what species they are, no matter where they come from, no matter who their parents are. Children must be protected above all else. In the front row sat the new leaders of the former Keth territories. After Admiral Doak's defeat, the Keth Empire had been completely reorganized. The old leaders who believed in keeping species apart were gone. New leaders who understood the value of peace and cooperation had taken their place. Commander NAL, who had once served under Admiral Doak, now wore the uniform of the reformed Keth government. He stood to address the council. My people made a terrible mistake, he said. We believed that keeping species separate made us strong. We thought emotions and family bonds made others weak. We were wrong. The humans showed us that love and protection of children is the greatest strength any species can have. Jean nodded respectfully at the former Keth officer. During the months after the battle, many Keth soldiers had asked to visit New Haven. They wanted to see what they had tried to destroy. Most left with completely changed minds about humans and mixed communities. Ambassador Ri Song of the Terran Federation stepped forward with the treaty documents. These accords do more than protect children, she explained. They create sanctuary zones throughout the galaxy. Places where any child can find safety, no matter what wars or disasters happen in space. The first species to sign after humans were the Alterians. Their representative, Elder Zin, spoke with tears in her large eyes. 50 of our children live on New Haven today. They are loved and safe with human families. We will create our own sanctuary world, following your example. The vegan ambassador signed next. Our people have always valued family, but we never thought to extend that to other species' children. New Haven has shown us a better way. One by one, species after species signed the accords. Even former enemies of humanity added their signatures. The battle at New Haven had sent a message across the entire galaxy. Threatening children brought swift and overwhelming response from humans. But the accords were about more than fear. They were about hope. Look at them, Jean said, pointing to the children playing in the gardens. 6 months ago, Admiral Doak said mixing species would create confusion and weakness. What do you see? The assembled ambassadors watched as a human girl named Da helped a small alien boy reach fruit from a high branch. Nearby, twin human brothers were learning to speak in clicking sounds from their adopted insect-like sister. An alien child with tentacles was braiding flowers with human children. I see strength, said the crystalline ambassador. I see unity. I see children who will grow up understanding that differences make us stronger, not weaker. Admiral Min, who had come out of retirement to fight at New Haven, walked to the center of the hall. His granddaughter, a green-skinned girl adopted by the Park family, sat on his shoulders. 6 months ago my granddaughter was threatened, he said. The response was immediate. Every human ship in space came to help. Not because we are warlike. Not because we wanted conquest. But because we will do anything to protect our children. He looked around at all the alien ambassadors. Today, with these accords, we extend that protection to all children everywhere. Threaten any child in any sanctuary zone, and you face the same response we gave the Keth. The signing ceremony continued for hours. As each species added their name to the accords, children from their worlds were brought forward to place handprints on the treaty. Human hands next to alien claws, tentacles, and appendages that had no names in human language. As the sun set through the council chamber's great windows, Jean stood with his adopted daughter Un. She was now 8 years old and perfectly fluent in both human and Alterian languages. She served as a translator between human and alien children. Captain Jean, she asked, will there be more wars? Jean knelt down to her level. Maybe, little one. But never again will wars threaten children like you. The galaxy has learned that lesson. The final signature on the Sanctuary Accords came from Admiral Doak himself, now serving time for war crimes but allowed to participate via video link. His voice was quiet and filled with regret. I attacked New Haven because I thought mixing species was wrong. I was taught that different meant dangerous. The humans taught me that different means beautiful. I signed these accords not as a defeated enemy, but as someone who finally understands what we could have had if we had chosen love instead of fear. As the ceremony ended, Ambassador Ri Song gave the closing speech. We humans ask for no empire. We want no subjects. We seek no conquest. But know this, galaxy, we will cross any distance, fight any enemy, pay any price to protect the innocent. This is not a threat. This is a promise. And it is written in the stars themselves. The children continued playing as the ambassadors departed, their laughter echoing across space like a song of hope for the future.